Hi, it's me again. It's Steve again. Back to review the 2018 Louis Vuitton Flower Hobo. Yeah, this hobo, not this hobo. I'll tell you about it plus so much more when we come right back. Welcome back. Hey, please subscribe to my channel. Like my channel if you do like it. Subscribe so you can see the ones I've done before, and you get the first out to see when I put a new one out. I try to put a new one out at least once a week, and you can see everything I'm doing in the past and in the future. If you stick around to the end of the video, what I usually do, if you've seen my other videos, you know this, is I give some history on Louis Vuitton as growing up or a child or the early days of his factory and products and things like that. And I'm going to keep doing that. But today I'm going to do something a little bit different. A lot of you buy and sell pre-owned Louis Vuitton bags. I'm going to give you a tip that maybe help you see if it's authentic or not. It's not 100% guaranteed, but it'll give you an idea, and we'll talk a little bit about that later if you stick around to the end of the video. All right? Okay, here it is. This is the 2018 Flower Hobo by Louis Vuitton. This bag does come in 3 versions. I'll put pictures up of 2 of the other ones. This one is got the monogram canvas, it's got the black interior and the black handle. As you can see, the other one has the Bordeaux or the burgundy interior and burgundy handle, and the other one is the burgundy interior and the beige accessories, beige handle there. Okay, let me give you the dimensions. Dimensions on this bag are, let's get it right here, 13.4 across. 15 high, 6.7 this way. So this way, 13.4, 6.7, and 15 side up the side here like this. Okay. The interior, though it does come in the black and the burgundy, is a microfiber. I'll pull it out here. Maybe you can see it. It's kind of hard to see, but it's a microfiber fabric on the inside there. Okay. Inside the bag, it's a very large interior. I know it's hard to see because it's black. But inside the bag, there are 2 pockets. The one pocket, if you can see here, has a zipper and opens up. It is inside the lining. It is not one of those little pouch pockets that you can flip out. Some of them you can see flip the pouch out or the pocket out. This one is sewn into the lining, and there's the gold tone, the gold plated hardware on that. The other side, the pocket is locked. That's what this little lock is. Okay? And the flower, why they call this the Flower Hobo, by the way, is there's a little flower emblem, the Louis Vuitton flower, right there underneath the lock, if you can see it. That's the only thing on this that's a flower, but they call it the Flower Hobo. And it does have the lock. The lock locks the pocket. It gets hard to see because it's black in there. But if you unlock it, and you can do that with this right here. There's your keys. Right. Put that in there. So if you unlock it and turn the little knob, then the pocket opens. Okay. But it will keep it locked. So if you want to use the pocket all the time, I would suggest keeping the lock off. That way you can just open and close it without having to unlock it every time. But with the lock, it does make it a little bit more safe in there. This bag is something a little bit different. The stitching on this bag is a little bit different than many of the Louis Vuitton bags. The stitching, I don't know if you can see here, but it's overlapped and stitched down the middle. Okay, so there's a lip here, a little bit of a lip. So where a lot of them are folded in and stitched, this one has a stitching right here and it's overlapped, so it's got a lip. It's the same way along the bottom. It's got the way it's folded and lipped. Also, this is kind of folded a little bit different in the corners here. It also makes these corners kind of a sharp corners, and that's one thing that I've kind of gathered that some people don't like about the bag or worried about it going forward, is because they're kind of very sharp corners, and if you're not careful, those could wear pretty easily, and then they'll wear through because there's no studs on the bottom either. It's going to lay flat when you lay it down, but these corners are kind of sharp, and that's something that could be a little bit of a knock on the bag. It looks good, but from a wear standpoint, that's a little bit iffy. Okay. The other thing this bag has is it has a magnetic clasp in the middle there. Okay. Now, when it does clasp, when you get it exact and clasp it, it's fairly strong and it'll hold. But if you just kind of throw it together, it's not going to do it. It's got a very small, there's little kind of the two little flowers in there have to line up perfectly and close. So it does take a little getting used to. But if you just kind of close it like that, it's not going to close. But when you're wearing the bag, since these corners kind of fold in, and I'll model it here like I try to model sometimes. Okay, let's go ahead and model this. Here, I'm a little bit bigger than most, but you can see the flaps kind of fold in like that. If someone's trying to reach in there, or what, it's going to be very difficult. You know, it molds under the arm nicely, but it's very difficult to, even if it's not magnetically or is magnetically clasped, it's not hanging open like some bags do. It's kind of tucked nicely under the arm, so it fits there like so. Okay. So again, this one is the noir or the black with the black strap. Nice stitching on the side here. You can see these little, I don't know what you call them. Okay. This says Louis Vuitton Paris on the inside here. Now, this bag's not made in Paris. It's actually made in the United States, but Louis Vuitton is a French company, so Louis Vuitton Paris is what's put on here. But I'll talk about that in a minute. And here's a part of the video where I told you earlier that I usually tell some stories. Now we're going to kind of get into this a little bit. Now, pre-owned Louis Vuitton, whether you buy and sell them, is a huge industry. The problem with that is so is fake Louis Vuitton. It's a huge industry, and it's actually been a huge industry for a long time. This canvas actually was originally designed to help stop counterfeiters back 100 years ago, or whatever this was made. I forget the date on that, but it was back probably 70 years ago. And this was designed to try to help with counterfeiting. But counterfeiting is huge, and they're getting better and better all the time. So it's getting more and more difficult to know what's real and what's not real. So if you're buying and selling Louis Vuitton bags, I highly recommend using an authentication service, and there's a few of them out there. I really recommend one called Pro Authenticators. I'll put the link down below, and I'll put it across the screen so you can see proauthenticators.com. They got a great reputation, and there's different pricing schedules depending on what kind of authentication you want. And again, I think many of them have that. But it's kind of important. You're spending a lot of money on these bags, and to spend a few dollars to getting authenticated to know that it's real is probably worth it. Again, because the fakes are getting so much better, and sometimes, you know, you really, when you put the money out there, you want to make sure you're getting your money's worth and getting a real Louis Vuitton. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about one way that you might be able to see that if the bag is authentic or fake. Now, nothing I'm going to show you, either today or going forward, if we do more of this, is exact. The fake bags are getting better. So even if we say something, and would say this is a 100% Louis Vuitton because of this one thing, it's not true. These authentication services like Pro Authenticators, they look at many different parts of the bag. You just can't look at one. You can't look at the stitching or the hardware or the pattern or anything like that and say that one thing makes it authentic or makes it fake. You've got to look at the bag and hold and look at a lot of these different components of the bag to determine whether it's fake or real. And also, you have the newer bags, you have vintage bags. So there's other expertise in that. It's a lot, whether it's harder or easier. There's different things that, you know, a bag might have looked one way if they made it 30 years ago, and they make the same bag today, and they make it a little bit different. So you've got to know the differences there too. So Louis Vuitton bags should have heat stamps and date codes. But again, the thing that you got to remember with any of these things, and let me regress for a minute here. I originally was going to talk about some of the patterns, the matching patterns on the bags, and how that would tell you that it's an authentic Louis Vuitton bag, but that doesn't anymore. There's bags that, you know, Louis Vuitton makes a lot of bags and the quality is there, but sometimes something slips through and the quality is not always what it should be, and there are things that are found in these bags that you would look at it and say, oh, that doesn't match, it's got to be fake, and it's real. Or the date code and the heat stamp don't match. The date code says it's made in France, but it says made in USA. Well, that would be normally an indication that it's a fake, but things have happened in the factory where things slip by, the quality control. So that always doesn't necessarily determine it. That's why they can't look at just one thing. But there's one thing that they will do, and I'll put a link down below, that the date codes in these bags will basically say the year that it's made and the factory that it's made based on the letters and the numbers in the date code. And what you can do is from the date code, if it says, if the code in the front, let's say, says USA again, and then the heat stamp says made in France, then it might be an indication that the bag is not real. Again, not 100%, but that could be an indication that it's real, that it's not real. So, and they're different in all the different bags. Now this bag, for example, let's take a look. There's a tag here which says made in USA of imported materials. And if we look inside here at the date code, it says SD 0178, but SD is United States. So SD is United States, the other tag says United States, so it matches. So in 99% of the time, that's an indication that the bag would be authentic, or one of the major indications that it's authentic. Now there have been instances when that was not true, and then they didn't match, or they didn't match and it was authentic. But from the most part, if those two match, that's a good indication. So there's a little tip for you. Okay. So again, I'll put the link down below with the list of the codes of the factories, so you can look that up. You can look up your bags at home. Like I said before, please like my channel. If you do like it, thumbs up, subscribe, so you can share it with your friends and family. I would appreciate it. And until next time, when we're going to do a Halloween special with the bag, so look forward to that. It should be a lot of fun. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye. It's Steve again.